In a major blow to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, the UK's Supreme Court has ruled that the government's plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda is unlawful. This decision comes at a crucial time for Sunak, as an election is expected next year. In response, Sunak has announced plans to negotiate a new treaty with Rwanda. If this does not resolve the issue, he is prepared to pass new laws and reconsider international treaties that hinder his immigration plans. The scheme in question aimed to send tens of thousands of asylum seekers who arrived in the UK without permission to Rwanda. The goal was to deter migrants from crossing the English Channel in small boats from Europe. However, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that Rwanda cannot be considered a safe third country. This ruling has delighted opponents of the policy who argued that it was unworkable and cruel. On the other hand, it has infuriated right-wing members of Sunak's Conservative Party. Sunak, whose party is currently trailing by 20 points in opinion polls, has indicated that the UK could potentially leave the European Convention on Human Rights and other international treaties if they continue to impede his plans. He emphasized that the British people expect the government to do whatever it takes to stop the influx of migrants. The Rwanda scheme has been a central part of Sunak's immigration policy as he prepares for the upcoming election. Concerns about the number of asylum seekers from Europe have been rising among some voters. The ruling has gained even more political significance following the recent dismissal of Interior Minister Suella Braverman, who was responsible for immigration matters. Braverman criticized Sunak for breaking promises on immigration and betraying the British people. Since becoming Prime Minister, Sunak has pledged to stop the boats, which is one of the key promises of his premiership. This year alone, over 27,000 people have arrived on the southern English coast without permission, surpassing the record of 45,755 detected in 2022. The cost of housing the 175,000 migrants awaiting asylum decisions amounts to £8 million per day. The Rwanda policy was initially developed by former Prime Minister Boris Johnson in a £140 million deal. Critics, including opposition lawmakers, some conservatives, church leaders, and the United Nations Refugee Agency, have argued that the policy is flawed, wasteful, immoral, and ineffective. The Supreme Court President, Robert Reed, stated that the 5 judges unanimously agreed that there were substantial grounds to believe that asylum seekers sent to Rwanda would be at risk of refoulement, which is the return to their country of origin where they could face ill treatment. This would violate several international treaties, including the ECHR. However, Reed left open the possibility that the scheme could be revived if the necessary changes to eliminate the risk of refoulement are implemented in the future. The ruling will have implications beyond the UK, as other European countries, such as Germany, are also seeking ways to reduce the number of asylum seekers. Additionally, the European Union is working on overhauling its migration rules.